Hello, I'm Carolyn Bubert with the League of Women Voters of Portland. You're watching our video voters guide, or you might be listening to a podcast. We're here interviewing a candidate who is running in the general election on November 5th. We're grateful to the Carolyn Velma Sailing Foundation, the Weiss Foundation, the League of Women Voters Education Fund, and our media partners, Metro East Community Media. I'm here with David Linn, who's running for Portland City Council District 1. Welcome, Mr. Linn.
Thank you for having me.
Please tell us a bit about yourself and why you're running for this office.
Absolutely. Thank you. I grew up here in East Portland. I actually was born in a little apartment, literally just off 82nd Avenue. And I've spent my whole life dedicated to serving in the community and neighborhoods here in East Portland. I've been a renter. I've lived in Hazelwood, Park Rose, and now I'm in Centennial with my family. And unlike many other candidates, I am an elected school board member for the Centennial School Board. I'm president of the Centennial Community Association. And like no other candidate in this race, I actually have a master's degree in local government. So I'm running for Portland City Council because I see how our East Portland families are struggling. They are struggling with unaffordability, insecurity, rent increases that they can't afford. And a lot of people I talk to are scared to walk around their community. They're scared to access public transit. They're scared to walk to their parks. And in many places, we don't even have safe routes and sidewalks for our kids to walk to school in East Portland. East Portland has a disproportionate amount of the city's poverty, a disproportionate amount of people living on fixed incomes and in adult care facilities, people living in mobile home parks. And we don't get anywhere near the proportionate amount of funding and tax dollars for the size and population of East Portland. And so I'm going to fight to change that for our families. We're going to fight and I'm running because we want safe, clean, and affordable neighborhoods out here in East Portland and for all Portlanders. And so I hope voters choose me for my experience, for my dedication to service, and for my belief in good government.
Thank you. What are your ideas for working productively with other members of the City Council?
Well, I'm so pleased because we already have been. With this new system, it has made it such more collaborative because you're kind of running to be on a team with other people. And so we've already been developing relationships. We've been sharing projects and causes, from across District 1. And I really bring this kind of modesty because I've been in neighborhood organizing for over 20 years, that I know that one person can't do it all. And that's why we supported charter reform here in Portland. And so I know that, even though I won't pass a constituent off because so many people feel passed off by city government, but I can really lean on the expertise of my other city council members when we're serving our communities out here in District 1.
What actions, if any, would you consider taking to address the current concerns related to the critical energy infrastructure hub on the Willamette?
Yeah, well, of course, the big Cascadia subduction event is a concern for everyone. I'm a state employee, and I was on the emergency team when we have our emergency drills. I'm very active in our neighborhood emergency team out here in Centennial, and we are doing a lot of work to prepare people for that possible big earthquake if it comes. And when it comes to all those fuel storage tanks, in the short term, we really have to get them shored up from the ones that are most vulnerable all the way through the entire area. But in the long term, we really have to plan on moving them out of that area where the soils can draw them all into the city, into the river. And the airports, especially that use a lot of that airline fuel, can absorb some of the cost of moving those tanks to a secure location.
Thank you. You're listening to the League of Women Voters of Portland's Video Voters Guide, or you might be listening on podcast. And I'm here with David Linn, who is running for Portland City Council District 1. So are you satisfied with the performance of the Joint Office of Homeless Services? And if not, what changes would you support? And then please explain.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were upset about the money that was left on the table, the money that wasn't spent quickly enough, and now it's compounded. And I'm somebody who's been advocating in the community for over 10 years on this issue of getting that money spent on well-run shelters. The audits of the joint office indicate that the shelters are full, the wait lists are long, and people don't always know how to access them. And we need to move with urgency to change that. We need to make sure we do have well-run, small, dispersed safe rest villages and transitional housing. So they're not concentrated in anyone's neighborhood, but they are small and well managed, and the city makes sure that we are keeping them clean. And if we're using contractors, we need to make sure that those contractors are doing the work to keep those areas clean.
Thank you. Let's see, which skills, experience, and interests distinguish you from the other candidates?
Well, yeah, like I said, I have a master's degree in local government, so that's a lot of issues about administrative law, public contracting, being able to read a contract, intergovernmental agreements, being able to parse those out and make sure that we are always getting the best deal for the public tax dollars. And as I said, I've served in the community for over 20 years. I grew up in Montevilla, so I've been chair of the Montevilla Neighborhood Association multiple times. I've been parks chair, outreach chair. I've written articles for the Southeast Examiner. We've been working on issues. We had a forum on homelessness 5 years ago. We had forums on prostitution on 82nd. I've actually hosted forums for Portland City Council candidates. As I said, I'm very active in the neighborhood emergency teams. And through my work on the school board, I serve on budget committees. So we're always trying to see how we can save money and best effectively use our public dollars. I also, through that, serve on the budget committee of Multnomah Educational Service District. So there's a lot of people who do a lot of things, but no one in this race serves as in the community as much as I do.
Thank you, Mr. Linn. This concludes our Voters Guide interview of David Linn, running for Portland City Council District 1. Election day is Tuesday, November 5th. Thank you for listening and therefore becoming an informed voter, and please do vote on November 5th. Thank you.